Welcome, dear friend. Tonight, there is nowhere you need to be. Nothing to finish. Nothing to solve. Nothing waiting for your attention. The day has quietly come to an end, and now the night offers you something simple, a moment of peace. Allow yourself to settle into the place where you are resting now. Notice the gentle support beneath your body. There is nothing you need to change, nothing you need to control. Simply allow yourself to be here. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Hold it for just a gentle moment, and slowly breathe out. Again, a calm breath in, a peaceful breath out. With every breath, imagine the busy thoughts of the day becoming lighter, like tiny leaves floating away on a quiet stream. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to hold on to them. As the rain begins its gentle song beyond the windows, our peaceful journey begins. It is an autumn evening, not cold, not warm, simply comfortable. A fine rain has been falling since late afternoon. The sky is covered by soft gray clouds that seem to stretch forever. There is no wind, only the quiet rhythm of countless raindrops finding their way to the earth. You walk along a narrow cobblestone street. Each stone glistens beneath the golden glow of old lanterns. Small puddles mirror the lights above. Every step feels calm, unhurried. Your umbrella catches the rain with a soft, steady whisper. The village around you has already settled into the evening. Curtains are drawn. Fireplaces glow behind old windows. Somewhere in the distance, a church bell quietly marks the hour. Then, silence returns once again. You continue walking. The street gently curves between rows of stone cottages. Their gardens are filled with rosemary, lavender, and climbing ivy that shines beneath the rain. The scent of wet earth mixes with the fragrance of cedar wood drifting from nearby chimneys. The air feels wonderfully fresh. With every slow breath, you feel a little lighter, a little calmer. At the end of the street, an old building slowly appears through the falling rain. It stands proudly, exactly as it has for generations. Its stone walls are covered with deep green ivy. Tall arched windows glow with warm amber light. A small brass lantern hangs beside a heavy oak door. Above the entrance, a weathered wooden sign gently sways. Hawthorne Library, established 1819. The letters have faded slightly with time, but they remain beautiful. The library seems peaceful, almost as though it has been patiently waiting for your arrival. You stop beneath the stone archway. Raindrops continue to fall around you. Some land softly upon the ivy leaves. Others slip quietly down the old glass windows. For a moment, you simply listen. The rain, the distant crackle of a fireplace somewhere inside. the comforting stillness. It feels as though time itself has slowed. You reach for the polished brass handle. Its cool surface reflects the warm lantern light. The old oak door opens with the gentlest sigh. Warmth immediately surrounds you. The difference is almost magical. Outside, cool autumn rain. Inside, the comforting embrace of glowing firelight. The scent of old books welcomes you first. Rich leather bindings, aged paper, polished oak shelves, fresh tea, a trace of beeswax polish. Everything feels familiar, even if you have never been here before. You quietly close the door behind you. The sound is soft, respectful, almost as though the library appreciates silence. The entrance hall stretches before you. Golden lamps cast warm circles of light across polished wooden floors. Rows of books disappear into the distance. Their colorful bindings create quiet patterns of burgundy, forest green, deep blue, and warm brown. A stone fireplace burns peacefully near the center of the room. Orange flames dance slowly behind a protective iron screen. A tea kettle rests nearby, sending gentle curls of steam into the warm air. Several comfortable leather chairs surround the fire. Each one looks inviting. Each one seems to promise a peaceful evening. A kindly librarian looks up from an old wooden desk. She smiles, not with surprise, but with quiet recognition, as though she somehow knew that someone seeking peace would arrive tonight. "Welcome," she says softly. "We always keep the fire warm on rainy evenings." Her voice is gentle, never hurried, never loud. She closes the book she has been reading. Its pages make the faintest whisper. Then she stands. From a small drawer, she removes a polished brass key. She places it carefully into your hand. The upstairs reading room is ready. It is the quietest room in the library. "I think you'll enjoy spending the evening there." You thank her with a warm smile. She simply nods, then returns to her book. Soon, the only sounds once again are the rain, the fireplace, and the quiet ticking of an old grandfather clock somewhere nearby. The little brass key rests comfortably in the palm of your hand. It is heavier than you expected, smooth around the edges. Its surface has become soft. After many years of careful use, you wonder how many quiet readers have carried this same key. How many peaceful evenings have begun exactly as yours is beginning now. The librarian smiles once more. Then she returns to her own book. She turns another page. The paper makes the gentlest sound, a whisper, nothing more. You begin walking, toward the grand staircase. Your footsteps become naturally slower. No one has asked you to be quiet, yet the library itself seems to inspire silence. Every sound feels softer here, more thoughtful, more peaceful. The staircase is made of dark oak. Each step has become perfectly smooth through generations of careful footsteps. You place one hand upon the polished railing. The wood feels pleasantly warm, as though it has quietly collected the warmth of countless evenings. You climb slowly, one step, then another. There is no destination that needs to be reached quickly. Tonight, the journey itself is enough. Halfway up, you pause. A tall arched window looks out across the village. Raindrops gather upon the old glass. Some remain still for just a moment. Then they slowly drift downward. Outside, golden lanterns glow softly along the empty streets. Their reflections shimmer across the rain-covered cobblestones. A tiny bakery has already closed for the evening. Its windows remain warmly lit. A small flower shop rests quietly beside it. The wooden shutters are gently closed. Everything outside moves at the peaceful rhythm of a rainy autumn night. You remain there, watching the rain for another quiet moment. There is something endlessly comforting about looking out from a warm room while rain falls beyond the glass. The world feels calm, protected, safe. You continue climbing. The second floor opens before you. It is even quieter than the entrance hall below. Tall wooden bookshelves stretch toward the ceiling. They seem almost endless. Thousands upon thousands of books stand patiently upon perfectly ordered shelves. Some books are wrapped in faded leather. Others wear deep green cloth covers. Some display beautiful golden lettering. Others have grown so old that time has gently erased their titles. Yet each one still carries a story, waiting quietly, never impatient. Rolling wooden ladders rest against several shelves. Tiny brass wheels allow them to glide along narrow rails. Everything has been crafted with remarkable care. Nothing feels modern. Nothing feels rushed. Only thoughtful workmanship, built to last, built to comfort. Small reading lamps glow with warm amber light. Their soft circles of light fall across polished tables, open books, and comfortable chairs. The spaces between them remain peacefully shaded. The library never feels dark, nor overly bright, only gentle, easy on tired eyes, easy on a busy mind. The scent here is even richer. Old paper, cedar wood, leather bindings, fresh beeswax, a trace of lavender, drifting gently through the warm air. Perhaps Someone placed dried flowers nearby. Many years ago, the fragrance still lingers, softly, patiently, like a pleasant memory. Somewhere, a log settles quietly. Inside the fireplace below, a gentle crack, then silence returns. The steady rain continues beyond the windows. Its rhythm never changes, never asks for your attention. It simply continues. Calm, constant, comforting. You walk slowly between the shelves. Your fingertips lightly brush the spines of the books. History, poetry, travel journals, nature sketches, collections of quiet letters, old maps, gentle stories, books about forests, books about rivers, books about gardens that bloomed long ago. Every shelf holds another peaceful discovery, yet somehow you never feel overwhelmed, only curious, only grateful to be surrounded by so many quiet voices, resting peacefully inside their pages. At the very end of the gallery, you notice a single wooden door, simple, elegant. Its brass handle catches the warm glow of a nearby lamp. A small plaque rests at eye level. It reads, "Private Reading Room." You smile softly. Perhaps this is the room the librarian spoke about. You reach into your pocket. The little brass key is waiting just where you left it. You slide it gently into the old lock. There is a quiet click, soft, almost welcoming. Slowly, the door begins to open. The door opens, slowly, without the slightest hurry. Warm air gently drifts toward you. It carries the comforting scent of cedarwood, old paper, and freshly brewed chamomile tea. You step inside. The room is quiet, wonderfully quiet. Not the silence of an empty place, but the peaceful silence of somewhere deeply loved. A large stone fireplace glows along the far wall. Its gentle flames dance across carefully stacked oak logs. Every now and then, a tiny ember rises, floating lazily upward before quietly fading away. The warmth reaches you immediately. Soft, comforting, never too much, just enough to make you want to stay. A deep leather armchair rests beside the fireplace. Its rich brown leather has become beautifully worn. The cushions look inviting, as though they have welcomed many peaceful evenings. A knitted wool blanket is folded neatly across one arm. Its soft texture promises warmth. Beside the chair stands a small oak table. A porcelain teapot waits patiently. Thin curls of steam still rise from its spout. Beside it, a matching teacup already prepared, as though someone knew you would arrive tonight. The reading lamp casts a gentle amber glow. Its light falls softly across an open notebook. A fountain pen rests quietly beside it. The ink has long since dried, yet everything remains exactly where it belongs. Nothing feels abandoned, only patiently waiting. You cross the room at an easy pace. Your footsteps disappear into the thick woven rug. Even the floorboards seem careful not to disturb the quiet. Outside, the rain continues. Tiny drops gather upon the tall windows. They race one another toward the wooden frame below. Some move quickly, others linger, as though enjoying the journey. Beyond the glass, the village lights shimmer softly. Golden reflections dance upon rain-covered stone streets. The world outside has become wonderfully distant. Inside this room, there is only warmth, only comfort, only time, moving gently. You remove your coat, hanging it carefully upon a polished wooden stand. The cool air of the evening slowly leaves your shoulders. You settle into the leather chair. It welcomes you with a quiet sigh. The cushions have softened beautifully over many years. You pull the knitted blanket across your knees. Its gentle weight feels instantly comforting, almost familiar. You pour yourself a cup of warm tea. The delicate fragrance fills the little room. Chamomile, wild honey, a hint of fresh mint. You lift the cup slowly. Its warmth rests comfortably between your hands. The first sip is smooth, gentle, calming, exactly right for a rainy evening. You close your eyes for just a moment, listening. The rain, the fire, the soft ticking of a small mantel clock. Three simple sounds flowing together like a peaceful lullaby. There is nothing else, nothing demanding, nothing urgent. Only this quiet room, only this peaceful evening, only the comforting feeling that you have arrived exactly where you were meant to be. You rest quietly, holding the warm cup of tea. There is no need to drink it quickly. Its gentle warmth is part of the evening, part of the moment. The steam rises slowly, curling through the amber light, before disappearing into the peaceful room. You take another small sip. Outside, the rain becomes just a little steadier, not heavier, simply more certain. Its soft rhythm settles naturally against the tall library windows. The sound is comforting, like a quiet conversation between the sky and the earth. You set the teacup down very gently. The porcelain touches the oak table with the faintest sound. Beside the cup rests the book you noticed earlier. Its dark green leather cover has softened with time. The corners are slightly rounded. Its pages are edged in faded gold. There is no title, no author's name, only a single symbol, pressed carefully into the leather. An oak leaf, simple, elegant, timeless. You run your fingertips across the cover. The leather feels wonderfully smooth. Generations of careful hands have opened this same book, not in haste, but with quiet curiosity. Good evening. Tonight, there is nothing you need to accomplish, nothing waiting for your attention, nothing asking for your time. For the next little while, the world can become wonderfully quiet. So, allow yourself to settle into a comfortable position. Let your shoulders become heavy. Relax your hands. Take one slow breath in and another slowly out. The fire answers softly. Everything returns to peaceful silence. You glance toward the bookshelves, lining the walls of the reading room. Unlike the large gallery downstairs, these shelves hold only a small collection, perhaps 50 books, no more, each one chosen carefully. Travel journals, nature essays, collections of poetry, illustrated atlases, letters exchanged between old friends, books about forests, mountains, rivers, gardens, simple lives, quiet places, stories that ask nothing except a little time. You find comfort knowing they are here, patiently waiting, never demanding attention, never insisting that they must be finished. A gentle breeze finds its way through the stone chimney. The fireplace flickers. The lamp beside your chair glows a little brighter. Shadows move softly across the ceiling, not in a frightening way, only as dancing firelight has always done. The room feels alive, warm, peaceful, safe. You pull the blanket a little closer around yourself. It smells faintly of clean wool and cedar. Someone has cared for it well, just like everything else. Inside this library, nothing here has been forgotten. Nothing here has been neglected. Everything has been quietly loved for many years. And tonight, for the first time, you feel as though this peaceful old library has welcomed you as one of its own. The warmth of the fire, the quiet rhythm of the rain, and the peaceful company of countless books begin to feel wonderfully familiar. The library no longer feels like a place you have just discovered. It feels like somewhere you have always known. You finish the last sip of your tea. The cup rests quietly upon the little oak table. Outside, the rain continues its gentle journey through the night. Inside, the fire glows with the same steady warmth. Nothing has changed. Yet somehow, everything feels different. Your breathing has slowed. Your thoughts have become lighter. The quiet room asks nothing of you. It simply offers comfort, warmth, stillness. You reach for another book, not because you are searching for anything, but because this evening has reminded you that some of life's greatest pleasures are the simplest ones. A comfortable chair, a gentle fire, soft rain, and a story waiting patiently to be opened. You smile softly. The evening settles a little deeper around the old library. The rain continues with the same gentle rhythm. Steady, peaceful, almost musical. The fire beside you burns with quiet confidence. Its warm glow dances across the room, painting soft patterns. Upon the wooden floor, you remain seated for another peaceful moment. There is no reason to hurry. The books have waited here for decades. They can wait a little longer. Eventually, you rise from the chair. The blanket slips gently back into its place. Your teacup is empty now. Only the faint fragrance of chamomile remains. You leave it carefully upon the little oak table. The reading room has been wonderfully welcoming, but tonight, curiosity gently invites you to continue exploring. You open the door and quietly step back into the upper gallery. Nothing has changed. The library remains calm, warm, almost dreamlike. The lamps glow softly above the bookshelves. Each pool of light creates another quiet corner, perfect for reading, perfect for resting, perfect for simply watching the rain outside. You begin walking slowly between the towering shelves. Books surround you on every side. Thousands of stories, thousands of lives, collected carefully over more than a century. Some books are so old, their leather has become wonderfully smooth. Others still carry the gentle scent of fresh paper. Every shelf tells its own quiet story. One section is devoted entirely to nature. Books about forests, wildflowers, mountain rivers, birds, ancient trees, beautiful hand-painted illustrations peek from between the pages. Nearby, another shelf holds travel journals, gentle accounts of slow journeys, crossing quiet lakes, walking country roads, watching snow fall outside small mountain inns. The stories never rush. They unfold, one peaceful moment at a time. Much like this evening, a rolling ladder rests quietly beside one shelf. You place both hands upon its smooth wooden sides. It moves effortlessly along polished brass rails. Without making more than a whisper, you climb just a few careful steps. Higher now, the room reveals itself from a different view. Rows of books stretch in every direction. Warm lights glow like tiny stars. The fireplace below appears even more inviting. The rain traces gentle lines across every tall window. The library feels endless, not enormous, just comfortably vast, large enough that every visitor could discover their own favorite corner. You step back down. The ladder rolls quietly into place. Not a sound breaks the peaceful rhythm. Even the old wood seems to understand that this is a place for gentle moments. Ahead, you notice a wide, arched doorway. Beyond it, another room waits. Softer, darker, warmer. A small sign, written in elegant lettering, simply reads, "Reading Gallery." You step inside. Several comfortable chairs face enormous windows. Outside, rain falls across the village rooftops. Inside, small reading lamps cast pools of golden light. No one else is here, only empty chairs, waiting patiently. A woven rug covers most of the floor. Its rich colors have softened over many years. Dark blue, deep red, golden amber, each thread beautifully worn, each step wonderfully silent. At the far end stands an old telescope, not for the stars, but for watching the distant hills beyond the village. Tonight, mist covers everything. The hills have disappeared, leaving only rain, soft gray clouds, and quiet imagination. Sometimes, not seeing everything makes the world feel even more peaceful. A small wooden table rests beside one window. Upon it, someone has left a simple vase. Inside, fresh lavender. Its delicate fragrance mingles gently with cedar wood and old books. The scent is calming, familiar, almost nostalgic. You take one slow breath, then another. The entire room seems designed to remind every visitor that slowing down is perfectly enough. You sit quietly beside the window, watching raindrops race each other down the old glass. Some travel quickly, others pause before continuing their tiny journey. You cannot help but smile. Even the rain seems unhurried tonight. Somewhere, far below, the grandfather clock marks another peaceful hour. Its gentle chime drifts softly upward, then disappears into the quiet warmth of the sleeping library. The gentle chime slowly fades away. silence returns. Not an empty silence, a comforting one. The kind of silence that allows every small sound to become part of the evening. The rain, the fire, the quiet settling of old wooden beams, the soft whisper of pages turning somewhere far below. Perhaps the librarian is still reading, or perhaps the library itself is simply breathing. You remain beside the window, watching tiny drops gather along the glass. Each one catches the warm light from inside. For a brief moment, every raindrop becomes a tiny golden lantern. Then, it slowly slips away. Another follows. Then another. There is no pattern, no destination, only a peaceful journey toward the windowsill below. Your attention drifts to the shelves surrounding the gallery. Unlike the larger collections downstairs, these books share something in common. Each one tells of quiet places, small villages, hidden gardens, forest trails, old inns, coastal paths, mountain cabins, gentle rivers, places where people once paused, simply to enjoy an ordinary day. You pull one volume carefully from the shelf. Its cover shows a watercolor painting of a little cottage surrounded by wildflowers. Inside, there are no dramatic adventures, only simple observations. The scent of fresh bread cooling on a windowsill, morning mist rolling across peaceful fields, a gardener watering roses before sunrise, a shepherd walking slowly home at dusk. You smile. Sometimes the smallest moments become the ones we remember most. You return the book to its place. The shelf welcomes it back without a sound. Nothing feels rushed here, not even the stories. They wait patiently, certain that every reader will arrive at exactly the right time. A narrow corridor catches your eye. It curves gently toward another quiet corner of the library. Small brass lamps line the wall. Their warm light reflects softly upon polished oak panels. You follow the corridor at an easy pace. Halfway along, you discover a long wooden bench beneath another tall window. A thick cushion rests upon it, covered in dark green fabric. The perfect place to sit and simply listen. You lower yourself gently onto the bench. Outside, the rain has become finer now, almost like mist. Tiny drops float through the lantern light. The rooftops glisten, the chimneys release thin streams of smoke that drift quietly upward before disappearing into the evening sky. A cat crosses The empty street below. It pauses beneath a lantern, looks around, then disappears through a small garden gate. The village returns to stillness. You realize how different this place feels from the busy world outside. There are no ringing phones, no crowded streets, no hurried conversations, only books, rain, warm light, and time moving gently forward. It feels as though the library has created its own peaceful little world, a place where evenings last longer, where breathing becomes slower, where every page turned is another invitation to simply rest. You lean back against the cushion. The wood behind you is pleasantly warm. Somewhere nearby, a kettle begins to sing with the softest whistle, not loud, just enough to promise. Another comforting cup of tea. You smile again. The night still has many peaceful hours left, and this old library seems ready to share every one of them. A small wooden sign points toward another wing of the library, maps and exploration. The words are simple, yet they awaken a quiet curiosity. You follow the gently curving hallway. The shelves become lower here. Instead of novels, they hold large leather cases, carefully labeled by continent, by sea, by mountain range. The room opens slowly into a circular archive. At its center stands a magnificent oak table, so wide that 6 people could comfortably gather around it. Spread across its surface is an enormous hand-drawn map. Its edges are gently worn. Tiny notes, written in elegant ink, fill the margins. A lighthouse marks one rocky coastline. A winding river crosses a peaceful valley. A narrow railway disappears into distant hills. You lean a little closer. Every line has been drawn by hand, patiently, carefully, not for speed, but for beauty. Beside the map rests a polished brass compass. Its needle moves almost silently before settling toward the north. Next to it lies a folded pair of reading glasses, as though their owner simply stepped away for a short walk. You imagine an old cartographer sitting here late into the evening, measuring rivers, sketching coastlines, adding one careful detail before enjoying another cup of tea. There is something comforting about work done slowly, with care, without hurry. Along one wall, a collection of globes fills a curved wooden shelf. Each one belongs to a different century. Some show countries with unfamiliar borders. Others still carry the names of places that have long since changed. Each globe captures a different moment. In history, you gently spin one. It turns quietly. The oceans glide beneath your fingertips. Mountain ranges, deserts, forests, all pass by at an unhurried pace. For a moment, the entire world seems calm enough to fit beneath your hand. A nearby cabinet holds rolled parchment maps. Each is tied with a different colored ribbon. Blue for rivers, green for forests, gold for old trade routes, deep red for historic villages. You choose one with a forest green ribbon. Carefully, you untie the knot. The parchment opens with a soft rustle. Inside, a beautifully illustrated woodland appears. Ancient oak trees, narrow walking paths, a quiet stream crossed by a tiny stone bridge. Small handwritten notes mark the locations of wildflowers and bird-watching spots. It is less a map and more an invitation to wander peacefully. You smile, imagining an afternoon spent following those gentle trails, not searching for anything, simply enjoying where the path might lead. You roll the parchment just as carefully as you found it. The ribbon slips neatly back into place. Every map here seems treated with quiet respect, not because it is old, but because it carries someone's patient work. As you leave the archive, another hallway waits ahead, a faint scent of lavender and fresh paper drifts toward you. Above the doorway, a carved wooden plaque reads, "Poetry Room." You pause for a moment. Then, with quiet curiosity, you step inside. You step quietly into the poetry room. It is smaller than the other rooms, yet somehow it feels even warmer. The bookshelves are built into curved wooden walls. Every shelf holds slender collections of poems, leather-bound journals, handwritten letters, small books that fit comfortably in one hand. At the center of the room, a single reading chair rests beside a tall window. A soft wool blanket has been folded carefully across its back. A tiny lamp casts a gentle pool of golden light over an open book. Beside it stands a small vase. Fresh white lilies fill the room with a delicate fragrance. You choose not to read, not tonight. Instead, you simply stand beside the window. The village below has fallen completely asleep. The lanterns continue to glow. Their reflections shimmer across the rain-soaked streets. The rooftops glisten softly. Beyond them, the hills have disappeared behind a curtain of mist. You rest one hand against the cool glass. The contrast between the warmth inside and the gentle rain outside is wonderfully comforting. You close your eyes for just a moment, listening. The rain, a distant clock, the quiet crackle of the fireplace somewhere beyond the hallway. The library feels alive, not through movement, but through memory. Every shelf, every chair, every worn wooden floorboard seems to carry the peaceful presence of those who once came here to slow down, to learn, to dream, or simply to enjoy a quiet evening. You open your eyes again. The room remains exactly the same. Warm, still, welcoming. There is no need to explore every corner in a single night. Some places become even more special when a little is left. For tomorrow, you take one last look across the peaceful library, then quietly make your way back toward the reading room. The fire is waiting. Another fresh pot of tea rests beside the chair. The blanket is exactly where you left it. You smile softly. The night is far from over, and beyond the dancing firelight, another peaceful chapter is waiting to begin. The library clock quietly announces another peaceful hour, not with urgency, only with quiet certainty. You leave the poetry room and follow the gentle glow of warm light through the hallway. Downstairs, the librarian is still awake. She stands beside a long oak counter. A small kettle rests above glowing coals. The water begins to gently simmer. She places loose chamomile leaves into a porcelain teapot. Then, a little lavender. Finally, a spoonful of wildflower honey. The room fills with a soft herbal fragrance. It mingles naturally with cedar shelves, old paper, and burning oak. She notices you. A warm smile appears. Without saying very much, she pours another cup. The teacup feels warm between your hands. You thank her quietly. She nods, as though silence is the most comfortable language. Inside this library, before returning upstairs, she walks slowly toward the fireplace. From a small wicker basket, she chooses 2 dry oak logs. One at a time, she places them upon the glowing embers. Tiny sparks rise for a brief moment. The flames brighten. The room becomes just a little warmer. Not dramatically, just enough to make every chair feel even more inviting. She gently brushes a little ash back into the hearth, then closes the iron fireplace screen. Everything is done slowly, carefully, as though each small task deserves its own quiet moment. Next, she walks between the towering bookshelves, not searching, simply checking. A book left open is carefully closed. Another is returned to its proper place. A reading lamp is turned slightly so its light falls more comfortably across an empty chair. Nothing feels like work, only care, quiet, patient care. The library has clearly been loved for many years, and every evening that tradition continues. Outside, the rain carries on. A little owl lands quietly upon the stone wall just beyond the window. For a few moments, it remains perfectly still, watching the rain, watching the warm light inside the library. Then, without a sound, it lifts gently into the night. You watch until it disappears. The village returns once again to peaceful silence. The fresh tea warms your hands long before you take the first sip. Its delicate flavor is soothing. Chamomile, a touch of honey, a hint of lemon balm. Simple ingredients, prepared with quiet care. You thank the librarian once more. She gives a gentle nod, then returns to her small wooden desk. A pair of round spectacles rests near an open journal. She carefully writes the day's final notes. Not many words, only the date, the weather, a short remark, a peaceful evening, gentle rain, 3 visitors. She closes the journal, blows out a single candle beside it. The room grows slightly dimmer, yet somehow even more comfortable. You continue through the main hall. A tall grandfather clock stands proudly between 2 bookshelves. Its polished wooden case reflects the glow of nearby lamps. The pendulum moves with perfect patience. Left, right, left, right. Each gentle swing marks another quiet moment, not reminding you of passing time, but encouraging you to enjoy it. Near the entrance, a wide reading table waits beneath a stained glass skylight. Even on this rainy night, soft colors still filter through the glass. Deep blue, warm amber, forest green, their gentle reflections rest upon the tabletop. Scattered across it are several illustrated books. One shows birds from peaceful woodlands. Another contains watercolor paintings of wildflowers that bloom through every season. A third features quiet lakes hidden among distant mountains. You turn a few pages, not to finish a chapter, only to enjoy a beautiful illustration. Sometimes one peaceful picture can say more than many pages of word. A comfortable window seat invites you to pause. You settle there for a little while. The cushion is soft beneath you. Outside, rain gathers along the branches of an old maple tree. Every leaf glistens beneath the lantern light. One golden leaf finally lets go. It drifts slowly through the cool evening air, turning gently, almost dancing, until it reaches the quiet garden below. No audience, no applause, only one perfect moment, shared with the night. You remain, watching the tree for several peaceful breaths, then quietly rise. The library still holds many quiet corners, and the evening still has many gentle pages left to unfold. A narrow doorway near the back of the hall catches your attention. A small brass plaque reads, "Conservatory." You gently turn the handle. The room beyond feels different. The ceiling is made of glass. Raindrops gather overhead, then drift slowly across each pane. The sound is soft, like thousands of tiny fingertips brushing the roof. Moonlight, filtered through clouds, adds a cool silver glow. It blends beautifully with the warm light from several small lanterns. The room is filled with plants, fern leaves stretched toward the glass. Climbing ivy winds around old wooden beams. Small pots of rosemary, lavender, and mint fill the air with a fresh fragrance. Near the center, a tiny stone fountain sends water into a shallow basin. Its gentle trickle blends naturally with the rain above. Goldfish move slowly beneath floating lily pads, without hurry, without sound, simply following their peaceful path. A wooden bench rests beside the fountain. You sit down quietly. The wood feels smooth, comfortably worn. Someone has spent many peaceful evenings right here. You close your eyes for a few moments. The rain above, the fountain nearby, the scent of fresh herbs. Together, they create a feeling of complete calm. When you open your eyes again, you notice a small notebook resting on a nearby table. Visitors have been invited to leave a favorite quote or a quiet thought. You slowly turn a few pages. One reads, "Peace is often found where nothing is expected of you." Another says, "May every rainy evening bring you gentle rest." There are no signatures, only kind words left behind for someone they would never meet. You smile softly, then close the notebook exactly where you found it. As you stand, a gentle breeze moves through the conservatory. The herbs sway lightly. The lantern flames flicker once, then grow steady again. You take one last look. at the peaceful garden room. Then continue your quiet walk through the sleeping library. The library grows quieter with every passing hour, not because the sounds disappear, but because they become softer, more distant, more gentle. The rain has eased into a light drizzle. Tiny drops rest upon the windows before slowly slipping downward. The fire continues to glow steadily. Its warmth reaches every corner of the reading room. You return to your favorite chair. The blanket is still neatly folded. The teapot has been refreshed. A faint curl of steam rises into the warm air. You pour another cup. This one is blended with chamomile and a touch of cinnamon. The aroma is comforting, perfect for the quiet hours before midnight. You lift your eyes toward the shelves. One book rests slightly apart from the others. Its cover is a deep shade of burgundy. The title reads, Evenings by the Hearth. You open it to a random page. There are no dramatic stories, only small memories. Someone describing the first snowfall outside a country cottage. Another remembering the smell of fresh bread on a rainy afternoon. A child falling asleep while listening to the steady ticking of an old clock. Simple moments, quiet moments, the kind that stay with us long after the day has ended. You read only a few pages, then gently closed the book. Some stories are best enjoyed a little at a time. The flames have settled lower now. They glow in rich shades of amber and deep orange. Occasionally, a log shifts. A few sparks rise briefly, then vanish into the chimney. The room grows even cozier. Shadows stretch gently across the bookshelves. Every leather binding catches the firelight for just a moment before fading back into soft darkness. From somewhere upstairs comes the quiet flutter of a page turned by the evening breeze. Perhaps an open window has welcomed a little fresh air, or perhaps the old library simply enjoys sharing its stories, one page at a time. You lean back and listen. There is no need to understand every sound. It is enough simply to hear them, to know you are surrounded by warmth, by books, by the peaceful rhythm of a quiet night. The hours pass without asking to be noticed, and you are perfectly content to let them slowly drift by. You gently close the book and place it back upon the shelf. Its story can wait for another evening. The fire has become a bed of glowing embers. Their warm light fills the room with a quiet golden glow. Outside, the rain has nearly stopped. Only an occasional drop falls from the branches of the old maple tree. The windows have begun to clear beyond the glass. The clouds slowly drift apart. For the first time tonight, a few stars appear above the sleeping village. Their light is soft, almost hidden, yet enough to brighten the sky. You stand beside the window for a final look. Every rooftop glistens after the rain. The narrow streets remain peaceful. The lanterns still burn with their warm amber light. The entire village seems wrapped in quiet comfort. Behind you, the library rests just as peacefully. Books wait patiently upon their shelves. The old clock keeps its gentle rhythm. The last embers continue to glow. You take one slow breath, then another. The warmth, the quiet, and the peaceful evening have become part of you. You return to the leather chair one final time. The blanket rests lightly across your knees. You close your eyes, not to sleep just yet, only to enjoy one last peaceful moment. The old library has shared its quiet evening, its warm fire, its timeless stories, its gentle welcome. And as the night moves slowly onward, you know this is a place you will always remember, a place where every rainy evening feels like coming home. The night has become wonderfully still. The fire has settled into glowing embers. Their quiet warmth fills the reading room without a single flame reaching high. You wake gently, not because of a sound, but because the darkness has begun to soften. Beyond the tall windows, the sky is changing. Deep blue slowly gives way to gentle shades of silver. The rain has stopped. Tiny drops remain on every leaf and every windowsill. They catch the first light like tiny pieces of glass. You rise quietly. The library is exactly as peaceful as it was the evening before. The air carries the familiar scent of oak, old paper, and fresh tea. Downstairs, a single lamp still glows beside the front desk. The librarian is already awake. She opens one of the tall windows. Just a little. Cool morning air drifts gently inside. It carries the scent of wet earth, pine trees, and blooming lavender. Somewhere outside, the first bird begins its morning song. Then another joins. Soon, the quiet village slowly awakens. Not all at once. One gentle moment at a time. The librarian smiles. She prepares one final cup of tea. This time, it is warm black tea with a touch of honey. You enjoy it slowly, standing beside the open window. The morning breeze moves softly through the pages of a nearby book. Sunlight finds its way across the wooden floor, touching the bookshelves, the reading chair, the fireplace, every familiar corner now glowing with the gentle light of a new day. You place the empty cup back upon its saucer. Carefully, quietly, it is time to leave. You put on your coat. The little brass key still rests inside your pocket. You return it to the librarian. She accepts it with a grateful smile. No hurry to come back. She says gently, the library will be waiting.
You thank her, then step outside. The cobblestone street still glistens after the night's rain. Fresh air fills your lungs. The village feels peaceful, unhurried, full of quiet promise. You take one last look at Hawthorne Library. Warm sunlight now shines across its ivy-covered walls. The old lantern beside the door has gone dark. Its work finished until evening. You begin the short walk through the waking village. Your steps are slow. Your mind is clear. Your heart feels light. Some places offer more than shelter. They offer stillness, comfort, a gentle reminder that life does not always need to move quickly, and whenever the world becomes a little too noisy or a little too busy, you know there is a quiet library waiting patiently with warm tea, a comfortable chair, and countless stories ready to welcome you home. Thank you for spending this peaceful rainy evening inside the cozy old library. May your dreams be gentle, may your rest be deep, and may tomorrow begin with the same quiet peace you found here tonight. Good night.